Well, hello, this is the Dark Side video related to how to train your dragon, or some people call the show dragons. Up on my review table here is a mixture of real and fake toys related to this very, very popular franchise. I dare say most people know Toothless the Dragon, very cute black dragon, but sadly he's been heavily knocked off. Please be easy on me on this Dark Side video. This is not a franchise that I fully understand, and I'm not the sort of person just to hop on the Wikipedia and try to sound like an expert. If I don't know something, well, I just say I don't know. But there's one thing I can tell you, I actually know how to get rid of nasty knockoff toys. Well, the thing that I can see is that the Dark Side packaging have done quite a good job at trying to emulate the real toys. That's part one of the battle, but as I've found so often with these styles of toys, is once you start to open these up, what's inside can be scarier than a dragon's breath. And while I'm thinking of dragon's breath, often dragons breathe fire, so I dare say these knockoff toys are going to be touched by fire. So I better say this warning: please do not attempt the toy destruction you see in this video at home. Leave this sort of work to the awesomeness of Godzilla. Okay, I am very fearful of getting some names wrong, but please suffer with me. These two packs are the same. This one here was $12. Okay, look at the character sets in there. I'm pretty sure this one here is an identical character set, but you can see it was $14.95. So we'll call that $15. So it's basically just about $2 a dragon. I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, well 16. A little bit less than $2 a dragon. And now just remember $2 for something I'll say later in the video. It presents very well. Okay, it really does. I saw quite a few people in the places where these were being bought. They were buying them, and I'd be quite honest here, I think they didn't even realise that they were dealing with nasty knockoff toys. Nice pictures and artwork, and also down here, names of the characters, so that's really going to help me. Mind you, that's Dark Side artwork there. Who knows, that might be completely wrong. I do have the real toys beside me, and I'll be checking along the way. I think the sickest aspect to these toys is they're always targeting younger children. So it says 4 years, and I think that's the French word for years there. I don't think it's a Chinglish thing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So we're looking at something where these little figures, which I think are almost direct rips of the real toys, are basically $2 a pop. Well, let me just pop in here. This is the real Toothless toy. This is the licensed Toothless. Looks spectacular. These were $10, but the cheapest I saw them, and it was at the reject shop, they were a $7 toy. Okay, so there you go, straight away the Dark Side's just offering up something a lot cheaper than what was available in the stores, and possibly maybe that's why a lot of people saw this as a real bargain way to get into your dragons. Coming in for the dragon unboxing, Spin Master make the real toys, and DreamWorks are the studio behind this franchise. I asked my children, how much do you like this? And they flip-flop from this show. I think they watch the first movie, but not the ones after that. And occasionally I'll see them watching it on TV. I think they get a bit over dragon. That'd be the best way of saying it. These actually are presenting, well, half decent. Let's have a closer look. Yes, have to be careful what I say here. I think they've got some of the colours wrong. Luckily, I've got some of the real toys to make a comparison to, and I think some of the moulding is mirror moulding. Hopefully, there's people that know about replicating things that can have a bit of a say in this video. One thing I'll say is my first look at these are actually a bit more detailed than what I expected, which is sort of a little bit worrying. Normally, the Dark Side stuff, they don't really care about the fine details. Okay, I'll do one of my infamous in-hand appraisals here and try and get the names. I'm just peeking over to the side. Meat Lug, the back of the box work says it is surprisingly detailed and painted, considering this is a knockoff toy. And I'm just trying to get pieces off this to see how easy it is to break a piece off. I'm just seeing there. You can see it's starting to rip there. I've got a funny feel. There you go. Okay, but nevertheless, this is actually presenting half decent. The next one is Thunder Drum. I hope I'm correct there. Yeah, I'd say like this is almost like stuff that's come out of the back of the factory. I think pieces of this would come off a little bit too easy. Mind you, it's not coming off, you know, super simply. I have to put a lot of strength into that to rip that off. Okay, the next one, is it Terrible Terror? I think these are all different classes of dragons, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. The real toys, I'm pretty sure the real toys won't do that. Okay, it'll just come off. It's a little bit too easy. Mind you, I've seen far worse knockoff toys than this. This is one I call it the higher class stuff. Shouldn't say that, but I just said it. Is it Monstrous Nightmare, this one? Looks like the well, there was a bank in Australia, St George. To me, it looks like the St George Dragon. That, like, you know, considering it's a knockoff toy, these are surprisingly detailed. Even they're painted underneath and on top. It is a little bit surprising. Next one, Stormfly. I know I'm going to make mistakes. Please forgive me if I'm making mistakes. Don't rage at me. There's a bit of excess. Look at that there. It's not finished off properly. What's it called? The flashing, isn't it? When they do moulding. I don't know. You guys are experts, not me. I'm just a dud person making dud videos on YouTube. Next one is, I think it's Belcham Bath. Isn't that the one where the twins operate this dragon? I mean, I haven't really sat down and watched the show myself. I've just been, you know, watching little bits as my children watch it. And there's the double toothlesses in this pack. What's he, Night Fury type, isn't he? Isn't it the most rare or something? It's like Pokemon. Everything's like Pokemon in the end. And I think it's the ears that make Toothless look cute. I had a friend who was into this, Warren Beaton is his name, and he said, oh, the secret to making a creature look cute is the ears. I very much remember what Warren tells me. He's a very high-end person in the film industry. Look at that, I never noticed that. Skull and crossbones, is that normal on Toothless? I know it's something about, like, he's disabled, and also his owner, the person who rides him, is disabled. Is it Hiccup? Or Sneeze, his name? Oh, please, I don't know. Anyway, I'll tell you what, if I just handed that to you without you really seeing the packaging, you could quite easily be fooled that they are the real toys. They're actually pretty clever knockoffs. Yes, it's nice to have the real toys as well, and what I worked out was there was all these different variations of Toothless, because, well, he is the most popular dragon, isn't he? I might have a mirror image of him, but the ones that I think I've got direct rips of is Meatlug, Stormfly, Monstrous Nightmare. I think once we put that up against the knockoff ones, we'll see something different. That's a different name. Is that the St George Dragon one? Oh, who knows? And this one here, Thunderbum. Or, sorry, Thunderdrum. And also I've just worked out I've got Belcham Bath. Mind you, that looks like some sort of transparent toy. It looks nothing like the knockoff one, which I've got in my hand there. That's probably not going to be a very good comparison at all. Now, just as I unboxed these real toys, what is a little bit curious is that the knockoff realm has gone to a lot of trouble in replicating quite a number of characters. It's got those rubber bands that are virtually impossible to see. Normally in knockoff toys, I'll concentrate on the main characters. But, you know, like, I was expecting just to see whole bunches of toys with Toothless and other rubber band, but what I'm seeing is quite a bunch of diversity in the toys, which is quite alarming. Probably one of those rubber bands again. Okay, the first comparison is Stormfly. The one I'm wriggling there is the knockoff one. The beautiful looking one, which is fully detailed, is the real toy. We can just see there's big differences when you start to make comparisons there on the wings and stuff. Underneath, the real toy's got detailing like you're going to see on the real toy. The knockoff one is just lacking that. But it's only when you see them hard up against each other you start to realise just how different they are. The other main feature is the real one here is not going to fall apart. I'm not going to be able to pop heads off. I'm really going to try and wrench this head off. And I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay, I can't rip wings off. And that's what real toys are all about. Sadly, the knockoff Darkside realm doesn't quite understand that. And that's why you end up paying a little bit more for a good toy. Okay, the next one we're going to take a look at is Thunderdrum. I would say that is an exact rip of a mould. It's come out of basically the same mould. I say that because to me they look identical. The knockoff one that I'm wriggling there just doesn't have the fancy detailing. It's also a different colour than the real toy there. Okay, even like inside the mouth there, yes, the way the teeth, the eyes are done, it's sort of similar, isn't it? But it's also, there's bits lacking, the spiky details there on the back, coming around to the underneath there. Yeah, also there's licensing info there on the real toy. Guess what? It's not there on the knockoff one, totally gone. So there's that guy there, and I'm probably going to fight it out. And next dynamic duo, it's Meat Lug. Knockoff one again, always on that side, and you can really see that the knockoff one is lacking a whole bunch of painting details. Licensing info there underneath there on the real one there. It's just basically looks to me like a direct rip of the mold, complete rip of the mold. But of course they haven't come in and done the fancy paintwork. And these two guys are also going to fight it out. And now I've got a self-made dragon dilemma here. This one here is the knockoff toy, and I've just realised that basically all these dragons are the same mould. I don't know whether this is sets of twins in the show, because I don't know that much about the show. I don't know whether it's Monstrous Nightmare or Hook Fang. I think that was coming out of the Hook Fang box. That one there. I just call it St. George Dragon. And I think, well, to me, those two are sort of the same, except the markings are totally different. Now, what is strange is the green one here, let's just get rid of him for a second, has got the same dots as the knockoff one. So I've got that. I'm so confused now, looking at these dragons. It's not funny. I mean, all I want to show you is that we're sort of dealing with things that are, oh, he's articulated. That's strange, isn't it? That is a knockoff one. There's no licensing on it. That's got nice articulated head, and this one here as well. Yeah. But once again, if you landed that in your hand and you were said, well, is that a real toy or a fake one? Unless you know what you're looking for, you're going to be hard-pressed really to understand what you're dealing with, because it's a pretty classy knockoff. The thing that's missing is a licensing info, which seems to be on the belly of these dragons. If I bring this one up there, there it is there. And it's also saying China there, and there's some numbers on his tail. Well, there was the two knockoff Toothlesses in that pack, but I think the one that I've got most similar is this real Toothless here. Let me unbox this guy here. Sometimes a karate chop can get these guys out. There you go. Another secret given away. Okay, I think we're dealing with basically the same mould here. These are very, very similar. Mind you, the real toy that I'm shaking there has got more painting details underneath there. You can see the licensing info on the real toy as well. It's a little bit glossier in the way the plastic is finished off. But the real toy looks spectacular. What is it, a racing version of Toothless? I like, you know, whenever you put black and red together, it looks great. Now, on the tail there, that looks like a dragon skull to me. Maybe you can. I don't know the franchise that well, but when we look at the knockoff one, it had, well, it's like a skull and crossbones, but it's got horns like a devil horns on it. Yeah, I mean, they've tried to replicate that artwork, but, well, they failed. Mind you, the dark side's good at failing, and this knockoff Toothless, it's, well, considering it's the racing guy, I suppose, where's the rest of his markings? Okay, I think I'm going to much prefer that one there than that one there. Mind you, there may have been just a blank version of this guy as well. I've noticed there's a number of different moulds. His head articulates. Strange that it's got those details, but mind you, they are very, very close rips. And I think it's when we see the very, very clever dark side rips, it's when it starts to get very, very scary, doesn't it? Really has you thinking, and be very careful when you're buying this stuff online. Let me just point out a little scam that often goes on with people selling things online. These are all our knockoff toys. Okay, someone could be daring and try to flash that off as real toys. But sadly what I see, and I've seen this in the Lego realm, is what they'll do is they might take out one or two of the real toys. I'll put a couple of real toys there. They'll come and grab a couple of knockoff ones and they'll sprinkle them in there. And I'll tell you what, unless you know exactly what you're looking at, you could so easily be thinking, oh, I've bought all these wonderful licensed toys, but you'd never realise that two of them here were fakers. I'd hate to be educating you to do the wrong thing, but I'd like to educate you into what to very carefully look out for. Unfortunately, the world is full of people who like to scam you. So yes, always be very careful. Remember, one pile of toys there is basically worth zero. The other pile of toys there is going to give you a lot of happiness, and they look pretty cool. But remember, the price of those, you know, in Australia, the lowest I saw, $7, probably a $5 toy in the USA. These, you know, $2 and under, in a sense. And on the thought of $2, remember I said to remember $2? I think some of the best of the Dragons toys was the Happy Meal toys. And in Australia you can buy the Happy Meal toy without buying any food for $2 as a separate thing. And that's what you got. You got a pretty awesome Toothless. I think these were some of the better Happy Meal toys. And his wing, his wing, this is live, ladies and gentlemen. Well, just pretend his wing's on there. It is an awesome toy. And he can fly. And there was also other characters. There was that guy there. I'm not stopping for a fire reel because I haven't got time. And there was also that character there. $2, some of the best toys you can get. And I'll come in and repair the wing on this dragon here, and I can ask the question, what's worse than being wingless? Toothless. Don't blame me, I don't write the jokes. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bit itchy. I want to have a bit of fun. Maybe it's time to see if dragons breathe fire. Hey, look who's just rocked up. Exactly who I wanted to see. Godzilla.
Never mess with Godzilla.
Well, if it's Dragons versus Godzilla, I think Godzilla's won. Yeah, well, Godzilla's done the dragons in. Well, I better wrap something educational around that there, or there'll be a nice big flag on my channel. That's how that box presented in the way those dragons are in there. And after a touch of fire from our wondrous Godzilla, who hasn't featured for some time, I'm actually glad he's back. That is the beauty and crispy critter dragons that we now have. There's one thing about plastics when they're on fire. There's a saying, I've got a saying that plastics actually burn twice. They retain their heat remarkably well once they're on fire, and if you touch something that's been on fire that's plastic and it hasn't cooled down properly, you'll get burnt again. But I think the worst thing about plastics is they have a terrible noxious chemical come off them when they burn. And I think in house fires and all that, that's the thing that gets you these days. Our houses are so full of plastic these days versus the old days when most people had all timber furniture. Sadly, in house fires, it's the plastic that's going to get you. And that's the educational spin, so I don't get flagged, and I'll put Godzilla back where he belongs. You're probably wondering, Leo, what are you going to do with that packet? Well, it'll be destroyed soon, don't you worry. We'll put the nice guys over there. And we'll bring in our next How to Train Your Dragon Dark Side toy. Okay, this set here, it cost me $15. That's $15 too much. The artwork on this one is characteristically a little bit, I say it, blurry. It's the typical Dark Side sort of copy of a copy of a copy. I don't know who that is. Is that like the girlfriend of Hiccup? Whatever his name is. The dragons in this are different, I think. They are different to the other molds. I might be wrong there. There's his name. That's Toothless's rider, isn't it? So, I don't know. Toothache, I don't know. I've got no idea. The artwork down there is pretty crummy as well. And spinning over and looking on the back, well, the artwork just gets crazier and crazier, and that's probably all the people who are inside this Amazing Dragon franchise. Bit of a read there. I'll put it on pause and maybe it reads right or wrong, you can tell me. And there's another clang of a read here. Let me read the third one down, you can read the whole lot. Be careful of potential entanglement, hazard with neck hair of fingers if there are string, wire, wheels or rolling parts in the product. Either these guys have got to use Google Translate or they've got to stop using it, one or the other. Very bizarre read, basically wouldn't relate to this toy at all. And I just noticed on Toothless's rider, there is the same thing that's on Toothless's tail. Hard to say that, on his armour there, whatever that thing is, I know the audience is going to tell me. Anyway, let me come in and unbox this beauty. Coming in for the unboxing. And my hands are dirty. The reason why is, well, just go back in the video a bit and you'll work out why. I know a lot of people skip watch these videos. And you miss out on all glory, don't you, by doing that. Here come the dragons. Come on. Out you come. Woo! Like so often when I unbox these, there's a peculiar chemical smell that comes from these. I think it's either the paint or the actual plastic that these are made of. Not nice at all. There's that thing there. Okay, let me get rid of that. Well, because I know zero about this franchise and I'm not going to pretend to sound like an expert, I don't know who that is. It looks like, is Toothless have a sister? It looks like the same class of dragon as Toothless. I'm probably totally wrong. I know my audience will tell me it's got a weird sort of tail on it. It is painted on one side but not on the other. That's classic sort of dark side-ness, if you want to call it that. Here's an extra dragon here. I don't know, to me it just looks ugly. It's just like the bare minimum. I bet your parts come off this fairly easily. Look at that. Straight down the child's throat. Now you look at that, you got a wingless dragon. I could do the old joking, what's worse than being wingless, toothless, but I won't. Oh, I'm boring, aren't I? Okay, there's Toothless here. Someone in the factory's got a bit of silver spray and just, let's dolly it up, make it look pretty, but we won't pretty the head. It just stops where the headline is, and it's got the spookiest eyes and look that I've seen on a toy for a very long time. That's going to haunt me for eons, isn't it? Yeah, just rubbish toys really. No effort underneath because, well, in the packaging you don't see underneath, and the dark side really doesn't care. The head does articulate. Ooh, that could be something like out of the next Toy Story, couldn't it? Although they've already done that, haven't they, with Woody turning the head. It's one of my children's favourite scenes, especially my son. Another Toothless. What is wrong with the eyes there? Look at the mouth. Yeah, freestyle styling in these factories. The wings look like they will come off or something. I don't know whether I can pop the head off. Yeah, look at that, really easily. You probably could have done that with the other one. You probably put that on the end of your pencil and have a toothless end of the pencil, stop if you're a pencil chewer. They save your teeth. No painting underneath, not surprised at all. And then there's the rider. I'm pretty sure, is he named Hiccup? He's disabled, isn't he? Like Toothless has got a part missing, so this guy here. Okay, it's got articulation, not at the elbows, but we've got some at the shoulder. Does the head turn? I've got to say that the face is actually quite well detailed. Let me just go in closer. Yeah, you can see it better now, can't you? Look at that hair detailing. Ooh, can do creepy stuff as well. Quite well painted in the eyes and everything. That's sort of what's a little bit surprising about this one. I'm sort of wondering whether it's just a mould of a real toy. And of course, well, that is a welcome to the dark side. That goes down, the head goes down a child's throat, a young child's throat, and it's a quick trip to the hospital, and if you're lucky, your child has survived. That's the problem with these toys. You may find that the arms and everything come off easy, but we'll look at the weapon. I thought that was something out of Harry Potter. It looks like Captain Feathersword. I don't know. From the Wiggles, that is. Yeah, look at that. It's just screaming dark side, isn't it? Strange. It's sort of strange in a sense because it's got detail in it. Now I think about it, it's probably just been ripped off a real toy. That's the articulation in the legs. You even wonder why they even bother. That's his disabled leg. I have no idea why he's like that. There's probably some backstory to it, and maybe the audience will tell me of why. Is it meant to look like that on the back? So I don't know. I really do assume this is just ripped off a real toy. But nevertheless, it's your classic dark side nightmare. Well, I would have liked to put these guys in a blender, but I'm shy on blenders at the moment. If you go back a video or two, maybe you'll understand why. I will put these toys through that mulcher thing. I think people enjoy seeing that, and I don't use it too often. And I'll also put those guys in as well. Okay, in no particular order, here they come. First dragon going in. Oh, it makes it easy, doesn't it? Next one coming through. I wonder how they're going to turn out down the bottom. Coming in fast. Get rid of him next. Whoa, he's a jumper. No dragon's hanging up yet. Bit of toothless action. Another Toothless action. Whoa. Come on, Toothless, get down there. Oh, he's got a Toothless hang up. Oh dear, oh dear. Got a bit of Trackmaster track here I can push down with. Whoa! For some people, that's one of the favourite things that I use when pulling down these toys. Mind you, it looks like possibly some of these have come through unscathed. How could that be? Let's take a bit of a closer look and see exactly what's happened. Well, these knockoff toys are made of the sort of plastic that's actually very hard to, let's say if I put a charge in these, it's very hard to break up. It's quite resilient to shock. This dragon here has somehow, it's got some cuts on the wings here. But I wouldn't, well, is it fatally wounded, that one? What do you think? It hasn't broken up, it's basically still in one piece. So that's sort of showing you that this toy is, well, apart from being quite, this is a thin one, that's probably the reason why it's survived, but it's fairly resilient, pretty tough to knock these down. Mind you, some other dragons here have just been sliced apart. That was a knockoff Toothless, wasn't it? Hiccup, or Sidekick, whatever he's called, has been chopped up. There's bits of him, he's very disabled at the moment. Other ones like this, there's a chop in the back there, it's a headless dragon now. This one here looks great, doesn't it? Look at that, sliced right through. What else looks fancy here? There's another Toothless here, sort of nearly got through unscathed, but mind you, the wings and that back leg have been assassinated, and also the head's been chopped. Look at that. Yeah, look at that there, boof. That really is an assassination, isn't it? Yeah, there's the body of, what's his name there, chopped there. Looks fantastic. It's funny, there are some people I know that they love the way that machine knocks things down. There's a head there. Yeah, look at that there. Ooh, right in the ear. Ouch, that would have hurt. There's that guy there. I've got no idea of remembering the names of these now. But all I know is that they probably look far prettier like that than they were as knockoff toys trying to be How to Train Your Dragon toys. That's the sort of toy plastic that even a blender would struggle to pull apart. It is actually quite tough. Let me just show you an awesome real How to Train Your Dragon toy that I'll slide next. Push that over there. And we'll bring in this Toothless here. This is a really, really large one. It's sort of got features all over it. It's one that I had in the garage for a while, and in the end I just gave it to my son. That's the look of that thing there. A much better look, isn't it? It is like a dragon skull and crossbones of a dragon. Very, very nice toy. And this is the one which has got the feature where, well, it shoots like a dart thing out of its mouth. I don't know what it's called. But if I do the ears in the right spot, it'll breathe toothless breath, whatever that is. Okay, but if I set this up with a proper light and show you it nicely, you'll see it a lot easier. If I set the light up in the right spot and the camera in the right spot and Toothless in the right spot, we'll see his breath even better. Okay, if I pull down on his ears, his mouth will open and that smoke will come out. He's sort of breathing that smoke, and there's like a blue light in there which makes it look blue. And because I've got a light backlighting this Toothless here, I'm making it a lot more awesome looking than what it is if it's just lit up in a room. It can be a very subtle effect if you don't look at it in the right light. Yeah, there was quite a few people asked me, Leo, what's your thoughts about the way this toy breathes its fire? I quite like it, but you know, like I said, if you've got to be in the right conditions to really see it as being effective. I do like the blue light in the mouth there. You can tell me what sort of stuff he breathes. I haven't got a clue, but I think it's a fairly cool effect. Yes, it's a very, very cool Toothless. It's very large, but I think when I watched my son play with this, he had trouble triggering his little missile, which is inside there. And I think if you hit the ear here, we can shoot. And I'll try and shoot Godzilla up the back there. And I think we had all sorts of troubles getting this missile to do what it should do. I don't know whether yours is like that. I might just have a Toothless, if that makes any sense. I've just reloaded it and I'll try it again and try and shoot Godzilla. Oh, there we go. Got it to work. It's very picky in the way it gets reloaded, but the smoke effect, really, unless you're seeing it in good light, it can be pretty tricky to see. Yes, there's been a few Toothlesses through the house. This one here is like a catapult one where there's a sheep. I don't know how to operate that, maybe. There you go. Okay. Of course, there was that one there. But do you remember where this guy came from here? It's a plush Toothless. I believe it's the real deal. It's got the licensing, massive licensing tag there. Well, I better leave this video here. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now. And sorry for taking so long to get round to the dragon's dark side. I hope you're happy now.